Friends, if you want to watch super hit movie Meet Me Next Christmas in English, then you must like this video if you're visiting our channel for the first time. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, friends. In today's video, the movie we are going to talk about is called Meet Me Next Christmas. We will talk about what this movie is and where you can watch it all. Interesting facts about this movie in today's video. I'm going to tell you. I am also going to give you all the information on which OTT platform or on which satellite channel you will get to watch this movie. Also, we will talk in detail about the technical department, music department, pre-production, filming, post-production, budget, box office collection of this film. We will also talk about the story of this film, and I will also give you a small review of the story of this film. Apart from this, we will discuss about the facts of this film's storyline, star cast, actors' performance in the film, and which character has played which role. That's why I request you, friends, to watch this video till the end, so let's start the video. Meet Me Next Christmas is a 2024 American Christmas romantic comedy film directed Rusty Cundieff and written by Molly Haldeman and Camilla Rubis. It stars Christina Milian, Devale Ellis, Kofi Siriboe, Tamika Tafari, Mitch Grassi, Scott Hoying, Kirsten Maldonado, Kevin Olasola, Matt Sally, and Kaylin Allen. The film was released by Netflix on November 6, 2024. Premise: a woman in New York City at Christmas is desperate to attend a sold-out Christmas Eve concert. Cast: Christina Milian as Layla, Devale Ellis as Teddy, Mitch Grassi as Mitch, Scott Hoying as Scott, Kirsten Maldonado as Kirsten, Kevin Olasola as Kevin, Matt Sally as Matt, Tamika Tafari as Roxy, Kofi Siriboe as James, Teresa Tova as Deborah, Kaylin Allen as Jordy, Priyanka as herself. Production: the film is directed by Rusty Cundieff and written by Molly Haldeman and Camilla Rubis. Mark Roberts produced under his company, while Simon Lithgow and Matt Code executive produced. Christina Milian stars and is also an executive producer on the film. The cast also includes Kofi Siriboe, Devale Ellis, Kaylin Allen, and the music group Pentatonix. Principal photography took place in Toronto. Release: the film was released on Netflix on November 6, 2024. Sneaking in just before the fleet of red Coca-Cola trucks comes barreling into town, it's the arrival of Netflix's made-for-pittance festive lineup, a holiday tradition that's similarly bad for your teeth. In 2023, it was kicked off by the deceptively titled Best Christmas Ever, a rotten nadir not just for the genre, but for film as a whole last year. And so the perfectly competent Meet Me Next Christmas lands with a respectable shrug. Things have been, and undoubtedly will get worse in the streamer's most overstuffed subgenre, so inoffensively watchable will do. Its low-level success is partly down to Chappelle's show director Rusty Cundieff, and largely down to lead Christina Milian, the one-time R&B star who has become a staple of the cheapo rom-com, first on ABC Family with Snow Globe and Christmas Cupid, before graduating to Netflix with Falling in Love and the surprisingly enjoyable Resort to Love. She's been an entertainer of some sort since the age of 15, and there's a safe hands ease to her performance here, securing us on side early on. Like a lot of these films, the plot is built from stolen blocks. This time they come from 2001's John Cusack-Kate Beckinsale rom-com Serendipity and Arnie's 1996 kids caper Jingle All the Way. It cribs the magical meet-cute of the former and partners it with the stressful scramble of the latter, as the romantic future of Milian's Layla might depend on whether or not she can land a ticket to a sold-out concert. In the first scene, her journey to New York for Christmas is interrupted by a snowstorm that lands her in the lounge next to a handsome stranger, Girls Trip's Kofi Siriboe. As they flirt, she tells him of her festive ritual, going to see cheesy a cappella group Pentatonix with her handsome boyfriend. As they part, he suggests that if they're both single next year, they should meet at the concert. A year later, reeling from being cheated on, she's determined to find a ticket so she can meet him again, enlisting the help of a concierge company. She's matched with, you might have guessed, a handsome helper, former NFL player Devale Ellis, and they're sent on a manic search across New York. Except, as you also might have guessed, it's not really New York, but rather a very recognizable Toronto instead, and while the overall corner-cutting cheapness might be more distracting in another Netflix section, like in last week's rubbishy-looking teen slasher Time Cut, the chintz is part of the charm here. These films are, after all, modeled on Hallmark's micro-budget range. You can almost feel a few fade to blacks for commercial breaks. Meet Me Next Christmas falls into several of the most common and popular tropes associated with Hallmark Christmas movies. Christina Milian's Layla is a confident go-getter who has the perfect life, a good career, a boyfriend, and a Christmas tradition where she always attends the New York Christmas show by Pentatonix. However, all at once things start falling apart, and Layla is forced to scramble and find ways to make this Christmas count. Despite a recently broken heart, Layla immediately moves on to finding the person she was meant to be with. A chance encounter from a year earlier with the person who could be her soulmate. But in typical Christmas rom-com fashion, her efforts are constantly hindered by unpredictable and wacky events. There's dancing, musical numbers, and twists of fate that everyone except the main characters see coming from miles away. But it's light, fun, and easy to watch. While it certainly isn't breaking new ground in any capacity, the movie is a feel-good moment that gets us into the holiday spirit. While most holiday films that revolve around getting to a big event don't feature the event in a big way, Meet Me Next Christmas clearly made an effort to include Pentatonix, the a cappella group specializing in Christmas music. The band appear throughout the movie, adding a distinctive additional plot and playing up their celebrity superstar status, which highlights their willingness to be playful and be the butt of the joke. While it certainly isn't breaking new ground in any capacity, the movie is a feel-good moment that gets you into the holiday spirit. However, their role in the movie is very limited. They could have had more of an impact on the story, played more music, or simply been included in a slightly more meaningful way. But the fact that they were just barely featured and used comedically feels like a wasted opportunity. Had they been given a bigger part, or their role had been reduced further, they could have simply played music at the concert in the show. It would have been better. As it stands, it feels like they are an overlooked extra character. Despite this, the moments where Pentatonix does appear are funny, and it adds another dimension to the story, albeit a shallow one. But in a movie clearly designed to cater to the holiday market and simply put out a simple love story, Meet Me Next Christmas meets the brief. Nothing stands out to make it special or notable, but it blends in with the rest of the slate as just another quick and simple Christmas movie. Meet Me Next Christmas 2024 review. Meet Me Next Christmas marks Christina Milian's latest Netflix rom-com. It's an enjoyable early November Christmas movie outing that benefits from its likable cast and not being the 20th or 50th holiday film of the season. Layla, Milian, resort to love, is stuck at the airport on Christmas Eve thanks to a bad storm. She's bummed as she won't be able to join her boyfriend, Tanner, Brendan Morgan, for the annual Pentatonix Christmas concert. Tanner seemingly becomes a distant memory when James Kofi Siriboe, Queen Sugar, enters the first-class long. Layla and James hit it off a little too well considering Layla is in a relationship. Equally smitten, James proposes if by some miracle Layla is single this time next year, they should meet up at the 2024 Pentatonix concert. It'll prove that fate and the universe have destined for them to be together. Fast forward a year later for the obligatory shock breakup with Tanner, and Layla is back on the market. There's no time to grieve the loss of this long-term relationship, though. That wouldn't make sense with the movie. Director Rusty Cundieff, The Chappelle Show, probably could have just skipped the clumsy breakup scene as it came off too hokey and wouldn't make Layla look like she wasn't really invested in it. Layla's best friend, Roxy, Timika Tafari, conveniently reveals she wasn't a big Tanner fan anyway to soften the blow of the breakup. But with Tanner out of the picture, Layla can try and rekindle that spark with James provided she can get a ticket to the sold-out concert. Enter Teddy, Devale Ellis, Sistas, a conciergerie assigned to help her land the ticket. Teddy's reviews haven't been great, which was a weird angle for his character who is portrayed in all other aspects as incredibly caring, considerate, and compassionate. He seems like the ideal conciergerie, but his real passion is cooking. Initially, it feels like Meet Me Next Christmas is going to be a modern take on Serendipity, the 2001 rom-com starring John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale. Get it on Amazon. With a hopeless romantic, desperately searching for signs that might not always be there on her quest to reconnect with the presumed love of her life with a little help from the universe. The script by Camilla Rubis and Molly Haldeman is totally serviceable while feeling a little undercooked at times. Things start out promising, with Layla and Teddy taking up different RPG-style quests to procure the ticket. Some of the tasks are more fun than others, while some play out so slow that it dulls the sense of urgency Layla seemed to have early on. The biggest offender on that regard is Teddy meeting up with his cousin Jordy, Kaylin Allen, whose idea to score the tickets is by winning a drag show talent contest. Allen provides a fun supporting spark while providing Layla and Teddy a more intimate manner of bonding. The rehearsal and the performance feels like a full act by the time both are done, and ultimately didn't add much to the story. It felt like a side quest that would have made for excellent deleted footage content. Occasionally, the Meet Me Next Christmas dialogue sounds less like real people talking and more screenwriter speak. Layla referencing her encounter with James as a perfect meet-cute sounded a little too meta, and Layla referring to James as her person as opposed to her man felt too in the moment of trying to be super inclusive and not offending anyone. Pentatonix actually has an extended cameo as they follow along with Teddy's postings on his efforts to secure a ticket. There's a funny running gag about them spontaneously busting out into harmonies to the chagrin of their exasperated manager, Becca, Nikki Devale, workin' moms. Milian and Ellis have decent chemistry that's passable enough for a Christmas rom-com. Due to earlier pacing problems, there's not enough time to truly establish Layla's sudden change of heart from her year-long obsession with James to suddenly shifting to Teddy. Still, Meet Me Next Christmas is a rom-com Christmas movie. There's no need to do any deep dives on the script or questionable plot holes. It's best to just casually check it out, maybe while working on your shopping list or getting the decorations up as the season begins to look a lot like Christmas. In case you have yet to become a Netflix subscriber, here are some details about the 3 plans that the streaming platform offers. In the trailer released on October 22, 2024, Layla is seen walking with her luggage in hand to the airport, only to realize that all flights to New York City have been canceled. Upset and killing time in the airport lounge area, she meets James and they instantly click. The two even make a pact to reunite the following year at the Pentatonix concert. Determined to keep her promise, Layla doesn't get discouraged when she finds out that the concert is already sold out. Instead of giving up, she travels to New York and requests the help of a concierge named Teddy, who knows a few people who could assist her in securing a ticket to the most anticipated holiday show in town. As she goes after her dream guy, the protagonist begins to question whether James is indeed her soulmate. Filled with love and music, including original tunes from Pentatonix, Meet Me Next Christmas promises to be an enjoyable kickstart to the most wonderful time of the year. As previously mentioned, Christina Milian leads this rom-com, playing Layla. Prior to getting attached to this project, the actress and musician starred in other Netflix romances, including Falling in Love and Resort to Love. Her latest credit will combine 2 of her greatest passions, which are film and music, primarily provided by Pentatonix, who also make an on-screen appearance in the Netflix movie. Layla's love interests, James and Teddy, are played by Kofi Siriboe and Devale Ellis, respectively. Teddy spends the majority of Meet Me Next Christmas running around New York City with Layla to help her get a hold of the concert ticket that could lead her to reunite with the man of her dreams, James. Yet, throughout this hectic journey, the concierge begins to develop feelings for the main character, posing somewhat of a threat to her initial plan. In addition to the main cast, other actors who are part of the ensemble include Kaylin Allen with Love as Jordy, Nikki Devale working moms as Becca, and Wesley French, Winona Earp Vengeance as Javier. Here is the official logline for the Christmas rom-com provided by Netflix. In pursuit of a fairy tale romance with the man of her dreams, Layla must race through New York City to get her hands on the hottest ticket in town, the sold-out Pentatonix Christmas Eve concert. According to Milian in an interview with Netflix's Tudum, the film is a treasure hunt for love, with her character trying to find a concert pass to the show where she hopes to reunite with her ultimate crush, James. As Layla dashes the Big Apple with Teddy by her side, he becomes her ultimate companion on this crazy ride, even leading the protagonist to wonder whether the love of her life might not be the man she promised to meet at the Pentatonix holiday performance. Not only does Milian star in this Christmas movie, but she was also actively involved behind the scenes as an executive producer. She worked closely with Cundieff, the director responsible for the holiday film. Cundieff is no stranger to helming Christmas titles, having directed A New Diva's Christmas Carol and Christmas in Harmony. Molly Haldeman, Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, and Camilla Rubis, Malibu Rescue, collaborated on the film's script. Other producers on board aside from Milian include Mark Roberts, Steppin' Into the Holiday, Simon Lithgow, American Idol, and Matt Code, Young Werther. As previously mentioned, Pentatonix will not only star in the film, but they are also heavily involved in the soundtrack. According to Milian, even in the moments that they talk in Meet Me Next Christmas, they will be singing. Here's what the actress shared about the Grammy-winning group's role in the holiday title. Everybody loves to hear them for real during Christmas time. Making a whole movie built around their amazing talent and putting love and Christmas all around it is a great cherry on top. Are you ready for a cute Christmas rom-com? Netflix has kicked the holidays off with Meet Me Next Christmas. The Netflix movie has Pentatonix, and you know what that means. Your teens will want to watch. After all, they watch Pentatonix on TikTok all the time. So now you need to make sure this movie is suitable for them. We watch as Layla, a hopeless romantic on a quest to find the man of her dreams and a ticket to a sold-out Pentatonix concert. Little does she know, the man of her dreams may have been by her side the whole time. Is Teddy the man for her? What is the age rating for Meet Me Next Christmas? In the United States, the age rating for Meet Me Next Christmas is TV 14. However, in Canada, we have it set at TV PG. And when you look at the UK, it's also a PG movie. This means that it's aimed at the whole family. The whole family may not want to watch, but this isn't heavy in terms of graphic content. It's a cute Christmas rom-com. That's the best way to describe it. Sex and nudity. There isn't any sex or nudity throughout the movie. This is more focused on the quest for a ticket to the sold-out concert than the quest for love. There is a romantic kiss at the end, but don't expect to see any nudity throughout. Think of Lifetime holiday movies, and you'll get the idea. Language. There is no foul language in this movie. It's homely and cozy. This is a movie for the holidays. The worst you're going to hear is words like damn or hell. And that's more to do with just the way we speak now to our friends. Violence and gore. No, there isn't any violence in this movie. This isn't your comedy like Jingle All the Way, where there is a fight for the last toy. This is a homely movie that's about a woman finding love and a ticket to a Pentatonix concert. Alcohol and drugs. There are scenes where some of the characters are drinking with friends. This is nothing gratuitous, and it's just adults being adults. It's probably nothing that teenagers haven't seen in real life. Overall verdict. Who is Meet Me Next Christmas suitable for? This is a movie for the family. Well, in terms of graphic content, it works for the whole family. The only reason I'd say it's more for the teens than younger children is simply due to what younger children are likely interested or not interested in. Younger kids don't care about romance. They don't care about the search for a ticket to a concert. They want action and fun. Teens, on the other hand, are more likely to be in the mood for a rom-com at Christmas, especially one that features Pentatonix. What does Netflix's Meet Me Next Christmas want to be? My guess is that this new release was originally written as a straight romantic comedy, but it feels like some Netflix executive came in and said, rom-coms are fine, but we also want to make a holiday movie featuring the Christmas songs of Pentatonix. How can we shoehorn these ideas together? The end result is a clumsy romance between Christina Milian and Devale Ellis that shares the stage with a Pentatonix holiday concert, but would have ultimately been served better if it was simply one or the other. Opening shot. It's Christmas in Chicago. Snow falls on the skyscrapers. An L train bustles on its track with, Hold up, is that Santa and his sleigh being pulled on one of the cars? And billboards and TVs across the city glow while broadcasting a performance from Pentatonix as they sing "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year." A woman at O'Hare Airport stops to watch, but gets distracted when she sees that her flight has been canceled. The gist: Christina Milian plays Layla, a woman who is in a committed relationship with a man named Tanner, Brendan Morgan. The two are long-term partners with an annual tradition of attending the big Pentatonix Christmas concert in New York on Christmas Eve. But when the movie begins, Layla gets stranded in Chicago while on a business trip and is unable to make it to that year's concert. While she's hanging out in the airport lounge waiting for her flight home to New York, she meets a handsome stranger named James, Kofi Siriboe, and she laments that she's missing the Pentatonix show. And he's all, "Who's Pentatonix?" And so she's all, "Who's Pentatonix?" and makes him listen to the a cappella group on her earbuds. James is clearly smitten with Layla, and let's be clear, Layla is flirting hard with James, to the point where I actually scrubbed back to the beginning of the movie to make sure I didn't miss the part where Layla called Tanner her brother or something. Straight off the bat, the movie positions her as having a boyfriend, but then also immediately being attracted to James. James tells her as he gets up to board his flight that he's into her, and if she happens to be single a year from now, they should meet up at, you guessed it, the Christmas Pentatonix concert in New York. I am confounded by the choices of this film. Layla tells James she's not planning to leave her boyfriend, but he insists that just in case they both happen to be single next Christmas, they should find each other at that concert to reunite. Cut to next Christmas, and Layla finds Tanner in flagrante with another woman. Right before the Pentatonix show, she throws his cheating ass out and makes a plan to find James at the show that's only a few days away. The problem is that she doesn't have tickets and the show is sold out. Author's note: I am truly drunk and I've only been playing the sip every time someone says Pentatonix drinking game for 10 minutes. After checking every ticket site and online reseller with no luck, Layla hires a concierge named Teddy, Devale Ellis, who can supposedly help her get anything she needs. Time and again, they lose out on tickets until Teddy starts to DM the Pentatonix's manager, who becomes invested in Layla's love journey to meet up with James. But as the days pass and Layla and Teddy work together to find tickets, they find themselves falling for each other. On the night of the concert, with the help of Pentatonix themselves, the Teddy and Layla meet at the show, where Teddy gets on stage to profess his love for Layla, who, of course, feels the same. Oh, and Layla does see James at the concert, but without letting him speak, she frantically apologizes to him while explaining that she's in love with someone new. Which is fine, because James wasn't even there waiting for her. He was waiting for his new girlfriend. What movies will it remind you of? The gist, two semi-strangers who make a plan to meet in New York on a major holiday, is very Sleepless in Seattle. Except here, the Empire State Building is played by an a cappella group, and the couple initially positioned to get together actually doesn't. Our take: Pentatonix is the best thing about this movie about Pentatonix, as it should be. The singing group, playing an exaggerated version of themselves, have assumed over-the-top celebrity alter egos, a trope that works here because they don't seem to be taking themselves seriously at all. And when they spontaneously and harmoniously break into song to complete each other's sentences or answer questions, it's genuinely funny. Unfortunately, they only have about 10 minutes of screen time, and the rest of the film is a madcap adventure of a grown woman obsessively trying to get tickets for a Pentatonix show that's, at best, silly, and at worst, absolute nonsense. And the only good thing about the Layla storyline in this film is the genuine chemistry she has with James, who is completely absent from the film for most of the film because eventually she realizes she's in love with Teddy. While I understand that this is meant to be a Christina Milian vehicle more than a Pentatonix vehicle, Milian is an executive producer and does have a music number of her own in the film. I can't help but feel that the film would have been much stronger if Pentatonix were the focal point and we just went full Spice World, allowing them to really lean into their goofy personas and go on the madcap adventure that culminates in their big performance. because they're legit funny. Instead, Milian and Ellis, who are only just fine, endure a bunch of mildly amusing situations while also slowly falling for one another. Unfortunately, their own chemistry is nowhere near as strong as Milian's chemistry with Surfabo, who plays James. As a rom-com, the romance just doesn't click. As a holiday musical, there's not enough of it. Sex and Skin. Tanner is briefly undressed from the waist up when Layla discovers him in bed with another woman, but the film is rated PG and there's nothing more salacious than that. Parting shot. Layla and Teddy kiss at the Pentatonix concert as the camera fades out. Performance worth watching. Nikki Devale plays Pentatonix' long-suffering manager who has to endure them singing most of their conversations and making insane, outlandish celebrity requests. Her eye-rolly performance as a woman who is over her clients is funny because it's the only acknowledgement within the film that all of this Pentatonix obsession is kind of ridiculous. Memorable dialogue. I'm on 4 standby lists, so trust me, I'm going to make it home on time for the Pentatonix show, Layla tells Tanner after learning her flight from Chicago to New York has been canceled. Moments later, after meeting James in an airport lounge, she makes him listen to Pentatonix for his first time, and he tells her as he gets up to board his flight, "You just put me on to Pentatonix." At no point in the script writing process did anyone stop to wonder if any character was saying Pentatonix too much. Rusty Cundieff's Meet Me Next Christmas promises the familiar allure of a holiday romantic comedy, festive New York City backdrops, a romantic quest, and of course, the ultimate Christmas miracle. However, despite the charm of Christina Milian in the lead role and the appealing premise of a journey for concert tickets on Christmas Eve, the film struggles to rise above a formulaic plot and often falls short of generating real holiday magic. Premise. Meet Me Next Christmas introduces us to Layla, Christina Milian, a spirited New Yorker who's desperate to secure tickets to a sold-out Christmas Eve concert featuring her favorite band, Pentatonix. Layla's quest isn't just about the music, though. It's also wrapped up in a convoluted love triangle between Teddy, Devale Ellis, and the charismatic James, Kofi Siriboe. Set against a backdrop of sparkling lights and snow-covered streets, the story unfolds as Layla attempts to balance her romantic aspirations with her determination to snag those elusive concert tickets. At its heart, the movie is about pursuing one's dreams. In Layla's case, that means reconnecting with love and holiday cheer amid a chaotic journey through New York City. Unfortunately, the setup feels rushed, and the film's pacing issues hinder the establishment of a believable bond between Layla and her love interests. The film tries to bring freshness to the genre with its holiday concert twist, but ultimately leans heavily on a predictable rom-com formula. The narrative structure resembles other seasonal rom-coms with tropes like love triangles, missed connections, and frantic last-minute realizations. Sadly, the film squanders any potential by focusing too much on cliches rather than building genuinely funny or heartfelt moments. Cundieff's direction struggles to balance the romantic comedy with the holiday spirit, leaving many moments feeling hollow rather than heartfelt. Much of the dialogue feels forced, especially during the scenes between Layla and Teddy, where their supposed unspoken feelings are more hinted at than shown. These interactions lack the natural, easy chemistry that could have made their relationship more compelling. Performances. Christina Milian as Layla is undoubtedly the highlight of the film. Her charisma and infectious energy add a much-needed sparkle to the otherwise flat script. Milian portrays Layla's excitement, frustration, and vulnerability with an undeniable charm, making her character one that's easy to root for, even when the plot falls short. Her scenes with Kofi Siriboe, who plays James, attempt to capture the tension of an unexpected romantic interest, but the chemistry is inconsistent. Siriboe gives a solid performance, bringing a suave charm to James, though the character feels underdeveloped. While there's some initial spark between Milian and Siriboe, their relationship never quite reaches the romantic heights the script seems to aim for. Devale Ellis as Teddy gives a restrained performance, capturing the warm, familiar comfort of a close friend. Yet, his portrayal lacks the emotional intensity needed to make the love triangle feel authentic or particularly compelling. Good visuals but lacks something. Meet Me Next Christmas features beautifully lit streets and snowy cityscapes. that capture the visual essence of New York City during the holidays. The festive decorations, bustling holiday markets, and elaborate light displays contribute to an inviting atmosphere that initially sets the mood for a classic Christmas rom-com. However, despite the visual appeal, the holiday spirit feels superficial. Rather than weaving the Christmas theme into the plot, the film often relies on decorative aesthetics without creating a meaningful holiday ambience. The concert itself is built up as a pivotal event, but when the time finally comes, it lacks the emotional impact one would expect, leaving the audience with a sense of anticlimax rather than fulfillment. Weak humor, the humor in Meet Me Next Christmas, is often lackluster, leaning too heavily on situational comedy that fails to evoke genuine laughs. Scenes where Layla scrambles to secure concert tickets, dealing with outrageous scalpers or botched online transactions, have potential for comedy but are drawn out without any real payoff. Attempts at slapstick humor also miss the mark, as the timing feels off and some of the scenarios come across as forced or overdone. Poor pacing and rushed moments. Additionally, the pacing is inconsistent, with some scenes dragging on while others feel rushed. Key emotional moments, particularly in the relationships between Layla, Teddy, and James, are given too little time to develop, making the characters' decisions and feelings seem abrupt and at times unconvincing. This uneven pacing hampers the film's ability to sustain the audience's interest or build meaningful romantic tension. One of the film's biggest selling points is its inclusion of the a cappella group Pentatonix, but the movie doesn't fully leverage their appeal. While they're positioned as the key to Layla's journey, their presence is disappointingly minimal, mostly relegated to a climactic scene that doesn't quite deliver on the build-up. The music, while enjoyable, feels more like a backdrop than an integral part of the narrative. Fans of Pentatonix may find themselves wishing for more of their unique sound and holiday flair woven throughout the story. Meet Me Next Christmas is a holiday film that feels like it's checking off boxes rather than creating a memorable romance. While it boasts a charming lead performance from Christina Milian and an enchanting New York setting, the film fails to capture the magic of the holiday season or the emotional depth of a great rom-com. The romantic entanglements lack authenticity, the humor is underwhelming, and the narrative's focus on Pentatonix as the ultimate goal feels superficial. It's Christmas time, so we're going to see Christmas content rise up the ranks on streaming services. What's that? It's not Christmas time? Well, then explain to me how Time Cut was just dethroned by Meet Me Next Christmas on Netflix's top 10 list. Checkmate. Time Cut, the truly awful time-traveling horror movie, ended its run at number 1, unseated by that new Netflix original Christmas film. It very much does look like one of those 1,000 low-budget Christmas movies a bunch of channels pump out every year, and Netflix has always wanted in on that game. Here's the premise of Meet Me Next Christmas. The film stars Christina Milian and Devale Ellis and does not appear to have enough critic reviews for an actual Rotten Tomatoes score. Of the 5 that exist, 4 are positive, so hey, not bad. Forbes Daily. Join over 1 million Forbes Daily subscribers and get our best stories, exclusive reporting, and essential analysis of the day's news in your inbox every weekday. Netflix has indeed been doing this whole Christmas original movie thing for a while. One of the more prominent examples was when they brought Lindsay Lohan back to screens in 2022 for Falling for Christmas, which did quite well on the service. There are a lot of these, actually. Given that Meet Me Next Christmas is launching now, a week after Halloween, with just under 2 months until the actual holiday, it's clear that Netflix is about to rapid-fire these off over the next few weeks as people search for Christmas content on the service. They don't make that many Thanksgiving movies, I guess. As for Time Cut, the film ended at a 28% critic score and 32% audience score. It's not clear if it was ever meant to have a sequel, but it's a horror movie, so I'm going to say there's probably at least a 60% chance it gets one, no matter how bad it was. But it would have to balance the schedule of the Netflix stars, Antonia Gentry and Madison Bailey, that make up its cast, as they'll be busy with Ginny and Georgia and Outer Banks, respectively. I can't say I'm going to watch Meet Me Next Christmas as if I'm watching a Christmas movie. It's going to be Elf, but we'll see how long it can last on top. Follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Blue Sky, and Instagram. Pick up my sci-fi novels, the Hero Killer series, and the Earthborn trilogy. Christina Milian and Devale Ellis give off sparks in Rusty Cundieff's silly but welcome reprieve from reality. If you're like most people, you've probably spent a lot of time watching escapist entertainment, but escapist doesn't mean pointless. Every work of art has something to say, whether it means to or not. If anything, the art we make to calm our anxieties speaks volumes about what makes us anxious in the first place, if only by omission. Even the shallowest superhero movies imagine a world where justice is achievable within a couple short hours, and not just one possible outcome of a miserable bureaucratic obstacle course that's designed to hurt more people than it protects. And then there are romantic comedies like Meet Me Next Christmas, the latest in a long line of cheerful, often interchangeable holiday rom-coms, which imagine a world where we have the time, money, and job security to focus entirely on finding true love in late December, instead of panicking over our end-of-year finances and navigating even more bureaucracies just to renew our health insurance. You can't help but wonder if it's a coincidence that Netflix released this movie the day after a divisive national election, where half the country was going to be despondent no matter what happened, or if they knew we were coming and put the kettle on ahead of time. Meet Me Next Christmas stars Christina Milian, resort to love, as Layla, who helps students attend historically black colleges and universities as her day job. That's a really great thing she's doing. But her defining characteristics aren't her altruism, they're her belief in true love and her weirdly passionate love for pentatonics. Yes, the a cappella band. Yes, it's very important to the plot. Layla gets stuck in an airport at Christmas and meets two handsome men. The first, Teddy, Devale Ellis' sisters, introduces her to the concept of sriracha and quickly skedaddles. The second, James, Kofi Siriboe, Queen Sugar, spends the evening getting to know her and getting a nice flirt going. When James finds out she has a boyfriend, he shoots his shot. If they're still single in 1 year, they should meet at Pentatonix's annual Christmas concert and see if this chance encounter really meant something. 1 year passes and Layla's boyfriend cheats on her just before the holidays, so she decides to take James up on his offer and meet him at the show. She's convinced James could be the love of her life because their meet cute was so incredibly contrived, it has to mean something. That's very meta of her. She's a romantic comedy hero who's determined to live out a romantic comedy. It's a shame the movie doesn't do more with that, but a hint of personality is better than none. The problem is the concert is completely sold out. She's willing to pay top dollar, and she can't even find a helpful scalper. With her options completely exhausted, Layla turns to a concierge service, which prides itself on finding anything their clients ask for. Because this universe is canonically contrived, even by the protagonist's own admission, her concierge turns out to be Teddy. They don't make that connection at first, so they just go on their merry way, adventuring across New York City in search of Pentatonix tickets. Will she get to the concert in time? Will she realize Teddy is the actual love of her life? Well, there is one reason. We want her to end up with Teddy instead. We want them to compete in a drag show to try to win those tickets. We want them to brave the shopping lines at high-end fashion stores to fetch a rare Christmas gift they can trade to rich weirdos for Layla's prize. We even want Layla to accidentally mace Teddy in the face just for the sake of comedy, which is rather mean of us if we're being honest about it. So all that matters is, do we want these two exceptionally likable and attractive people to hook up with each other? Yes we do. Christina Milian and Devale Ellis are adorable. That's the whole movie in a nutshell. Nothing else has to work in order to get what we need out of it. Pentatonix can't even play themselves convincingly at all, and it still doesn't hurt this thing. The filmmaker Rusty Cundieff may be famous for daring classics like Fear of a Black Hat and Tales from the Hood, but he knows how to rom a com, and conversely, how to com a rom. There's not much more to Meet Me Next Christmas, and that's actually kind of a lot right now. Films like this can, in healthy doses, help us process our anxieties, and we have a lot of anxieties lately. If you somehow haven't seen the headlines today and skipped right to this Netflix romantic comedy review, you may want to brace yourself. A little of this kind of reassuring fluff goes a long way. And there sure is a little of it. While the movie has not yet landed a critic's score on the review aggregate site, Rotten Tomatoes just yet, it's nevertheless garnered some critical attention, and the opinions are exactly what you might expect. If you frequent Netflix, or frankly, any of the best streaming services around the holidays, you'll have seen this kind of movie before, and I'm sure you know what you're in for already. Yes, Meet Me Next Christmas is light, bright, breezy, and cheesy, best summed up as forgettable holiday fun. The Guardian's Benjamin Lee rated it 3/5, calling it perfectly competent and inoffensively watchable, late adding, "While this won't be a film someone would consider returning to next Christmas, it'll just about do for now." Screen Rant writer Ben Gibbons, meanwhile, gave Meet Me Next Christmas a perfectly average 5/10 rating, saying Meet Me Next Christmas is a corny Christmas movie that follows the typical tropes, but the musical elements and central characters make it a fun watch nonetheless. The Rap's William Bibbiani echoed similar sentiments. Despite saying the main plot doesn't work, he wrote, "A little of this kind of reassuring fluff goes a long way, and there sure is a little of it." Already streamed Meet Me Next Christmas? And need something new to watch? Or not yet ready to start getting into the Christmas spirit? Check out our roundup of the best Netflix movies for more streaming recommendations to help plan your viewing. Martin Shore, staff writer streaming. Martin is a streaming writer at Tom's Guide, covering all things movies and TV. If it's in the theaters or available to stream somewhere, he's probably watched it, especially if it has a dragon in it. Before joining the team, he was a staff writer at What to Watch, where he wrote about a broad range of shows that stretched from Doctor Who and The Witcher to Bridgerton and Love Island. When he's not watching the next must-see movie or show, he's probably still in front of a screen playing massive RPGs, reading, spending a fortune on TCGs, or watching the NFL. Wasting no time after Halloween, and skipping past Thanksgiving, Netflix is charging full speed ahead into the holiday season with a slate of Christmas movies this month. Every Wednesday in November, Netflix will release a new Christmas-themed romantic comedy movie, and the first is Meet Me Next Christmas, which started streaming on November 6th. In pursuit of a fairy tale romance with the man of her dreams, reads Netflix's logline for Meet Me Next Christmas, Layla must race through New York City to get her hands on the hottest ticket in town, the sold-out Pentatonix Christmas Eve concert. The rom-com features resort-to-love star Christina Milian as Layla and Kofi Siriboe as her love interest, James. The ensemble cast also includes Devale Ellis, Timika Tafari, Mitch Grassi, Scott Hoying, Kirsten Maldonado, Kevin Olusola, Matt Sally, Kaylin Allen, Nikki Duvall, Wesley French, and Brendan Morgan. There's a sense of magic, love, and anticipation that's happening through the whole movie, Milian told Tudum in an interview on Wednesday about the movie. You just never know who they're going to run into or what's going to happen next. Of course, as noted above, this is just the beginning of Netflix's Christmas content. We're getting 4 Christmas rom-coms in November, as well as a brand new animated movie and a Sabrina Carpenter musical Christmas special in December. As you can see, Netflix is pulling out all the stops to be your true go-to destination for streaming holiday films this fall. That's especially important this year in the wake of Hallmark launching its own streaming service packed to the gills with Christmas movies. Netflix is kicking off the holiday season with Meet Me Next Christmas, the first of its festive releases, and it's already making waves on the streaming charts. Starring Christina Milian and Devale Ellis, this charming Christmas rom-com follows Layla Milian as she races through New York City, determined to score tickets to Pentatonix's Christmas Eve concert. Her goal? To finally meet the man of her dreams in the magic of holiday lights, where to listen to the Meet Me Next Christmas soundtrack. The Meet Me Next Christmas soundtrack is packed with holiday spirit, but finding some of these songs can be tricky. Many tracks from the movie are only available on YouTube or Spotify right now, though they might show up on more platforms if the film becomes a big hit. Fortunately, all the Pentatonix songs featured in the rom-com are easy to stream on popular platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio. While some of the Pentatonix tracks are also on Pandora, not all of them have made it there yet. Of course, music is at the heart of Meet Me Next Christmas, and Pentatonix leads the soundtrack with both new tunes and holiday classics, setting the perfect seasonal mood. Here's a rundown of the songs that bring extra sparkle to the story. The Christmas season is starting early with Meet Me Next Christmas, a new holiday rom-com now available to watch on Netflix. The film stars Christina Milian, who has become a familiar face in the streamer's romantic section thanks to movies like Falling in Love and Resort to Love. In the movie, Milian plays Layla, a woman desperate to find a ticket for the sold-out Pentatonix Christmas Eve concert in New York City. At the show, she's hoping to reconnect with the man of her dreams. Best Christmas movies on Netflix to watch now. Milian is joined in the cast by Devale Ellis, Kofi Siriboe, and Temeka Tafari, as well as the popular a cappella group Pentatonix, who play themselves. The film is directed by Cundieff and written by Molly Haldeman and Camilla Rubis. In an interview with Tudum, Milian described Meet Me Next Christmas as a treasure hunt for love during the Christmas season. There's a sense of magic, love, and anticipation that's happening through the whole movie. You just never know who they're going to run into or what's going to happen next, she said. The actor describes her character Layla as a girl that knows what she wants, with a good head on her shoulders. The best and most anticipated movies of 2024. Meet Me Next Christmas is only the first in a new collection of holiday romance movies coming to Netflix every Wednesday. The next release will be Mean Girls' Lacey Chabbert's new movie Hot Frosty on November 13th. It follows a widow whose life is transformed after she falls in love with a steamy snowman brought to life. Chad Michael Murray's steamy The Merry Gentleman is set to be released on November 20th, followed by Lindsay Lohan's new Christmas rom-com Our Little Secret. The holidays are fast approaching, and Netflix has already started celebrating with its annual slate of Christmas and holiday films. The service didn't get started with its Christmas movies quite as early as the folks over at Hallmark. But November 6th saw the first Netflix original Christmas movie of the year premiere. The newly released Meet Me Next Christmas is the first of a robust slate of Christmas movies that is much busier than previous years. Lindsay Lohan, Chad Michael Murray, Taron Egerton, and Sabrina Carpenter are all set for appearance in the 2024 lineup. You can check out the full list of 2024 Netflix Christmas movies below, complete with loglines and cast lineups. In pursuit of a fairy tale romance with the man of her dreams, Layla must race through New York City to get her hands on the hottest ticket in town, the sold-out Pentatonix Christmas Eve concert. Cast: Christina Milian, Devale Ellis, Kofi Siriboe, Temeka Tafari, Mitch Grassi, Scott Hoying, Kirsten Maldonado, Kevin Olasola, Matt Sally, Kaylin Allen, Nikki Duval, Wesley French. Hot Frosty, November 13th. 2 years after losing her husband, Kathy magically brings a handsome snowman to life. Through his naivete, the snowman helps Kathy to laugh, feel, and love again, as the two fall for each other just in time for the holidays and before he melts. His article contains spoilers for Meet Me Next Christmas. Netflix. Meet Me Next Christmas includes an exciting love triangle that leaves viewers guessing until the end who Layla will choose. The Netflix romantic comedy begins with Layla heading to the airport and her flight being canceled. She goes to the room where she meets a man named James. After developing a romantic connection, he proposes that they meet next Christmas at the Pentatonix concert, Layla's annual tradition if they are single. A year later, Layla discovers that her boyfriend is cheating on her and decides that this is destiny. The universe is telling her to meet James at the Pentatonix concert, but she couldn't get a ticket that year because her boyfriend wanted to see Macklemore. For help, she turns to a personal concierge named Teddy, who needs to make her happy if she wants to keep her job. Netflix's quintessential cheesy Christmas movie has several hilarious twists that will have audiences laughing as they watch Layla make the decision about which man is truly meant for her. Who does Layla choose between Teddy and James in Meet Me Next Christmas? As time passes, Meet Me Next Christmas, it's pretty clear that Layla and Teddy have developed feelings for each other. However, this puts her in the position of deciding between meeting James at the concert or going after Teddy. Beyond just choosing between the two men, her situation is also a decision between fate, which she has leaned on throughout the film, and choice, for which she chided Teddy earlier. Ultimately, she discovers that her feelings really lie with Teddy, even though she fights to get to James all the time. Luckily, James isn't heartbroken over this decision, because he's moved on in the year since their interaction. He's found a relationship with a lovely woman that's taking him to the Pentatonic show. The couple cheers for Layla as she runs onto the stage after Teddy's grand gesture, showing that James is the genuine, kind person Layla remembers at the airport. They just have better matches with other people, which fits with the Netflix rom-com's overall theme that choice can be better than fate. Teddy's grand gesture in Meet Me Next Christmas explained, with Pentatonix's help, Teddy plans to confess his feelings to Layla on stage at Pentatonix's concert after acting as Santa Claus. Through conversations, he discovers that she leans toward destiny, but also has a penchant for grand gestures, romantic overtures, and emotional vulnerability. Your plan includes all of these things. What he doesn't plan on is the fact that he has to climb to the top of the stage to fall onto the stage. Despite his enormous fear of heights in Meet Me Next Christmas, Teddy climbs to the top, but panics when it's time to climb down the chimney. He can't go down in the parachute. Teddy misses his musical cue, so Pentatonix has the audience cheer him on with the entire group singing and clapping. Eventually, he takes the step and faces his fears, which is a romantic aspect of the story that Layla never gets to see, as she isn't in the room when he comes down the chimney. How Layla gets her ticket to Pentatonix. The central conflict in Meet Me Next Christmas is the fact that Layla wants to go to the Pentatonix concert to meet James, believing that he is the man of her dreams. Unfortunately, tickets are sold out on all websites, which leads her to look for a personal concierge, Teddy, to get one. Unfortunately, this proves to be much more difficult than expected. After trying a ticket office, online sites, a scalper on Craigslist, and a vaguely cult couple, the situation seems hopeless. Teddy even blasts Pentatonix's Instagram DMs, hoping they'll help him. However, Teddy finds out from his cousin, the most entertaining character in Meet Me Next Christmas, that they can have 2 tickets to the show if they win the Snowball, an annual lip-sync competition. After being coached by Jordy, the two give a fantastic performance of the song Santa Baby by Kiki Halliday and Kovas. Unfortunately, they come second in the Snowball competition, losing their tickets. Even so, they win because they kiss and realize how they feel about each other. In a shocking turn of events, Pentatonix has been following their story all along through Teddy's DMs and decides to give Layla the only remaining ticket to the show if Teddy agrees to play Santa Claus planning to play matchmaker for the couple. Ultimately, this single act of kindness kicks off the ending, which is equal parts cheesy and adorable. At the beginning of Meet Me Next Christmas, Layla goes to the lounge after her flight is canceled. She goes to get a quiche from the buffet, and a man grabs it at the same time. The pair don't speak for more than a few moments, but he still impresses by drawing a smiley face on his sriracha quiche. This interaction is soon overshadowed in the film by the meet-cute between Layla and James. However, the moment becomes important in the future, as she keeps the glass he accidentally dropped in her bag, an item that is sentimental to her, as it was when she met James. Ultimately, this cup is what helps Layla and Teddy finally understand that they have already met. Ultimately, there was no wrong choice between James and Teddy in Meet Me Next Christmas, just like there was no right choice between James's girlfriend and Layla. They both had to choose a person who brought them joy, and it all comes down to being in the right place at the right time with someone who fits into their lives. The Pentatonics Christmas concert. Layla and Teddy take the stage with a steamy performance they end up getting carried away and kissing at the end of. The performance, despite their passionate performance, they end up taking the second place. However, it seems Santa has a surprise for Layla because Pentatonics gives her a ticket after one of their VIPs cancels as she gets ready for the concert. She realizes that she likes Teddy. The version of James she had in her mind doesn't live up to the real things she has experienced with Teddy for the past few hours. On the other hand, Pentatonics hires Teddy to be there, Santa, and offers him a chance to confess his feelings to Layla. Layla loves grand gestures, and what could be grander than a Christmas Eve love confession at her favorite band concert? Leah gets a chance to see James, but she quickly explains that she is not there for him. It turns out that James was not there for her. Either he came with his girlfriend and barely remembers Layla after spending most of the concert trying to get backstage to talk to Teddy. Layla is surprised when she hears him confessing on stage. She rushes to the stage and confesses she feels the same. They embrace, kiss, and join Pentatonics on stage as they sing their song, Meet Me Next Christmas. More details, it's officially time to be merry and sing along to gay jingles while not knowing all the words, and Netflix has just the film to get anybody in the Christmas spirit. Meet Me Next Christmas is about Layla, a woman who gets stranded at the airport one Christmas Eve and meets a charming young man named James. When James has to leave, he takes a leap of faith and tells Layla that despite her having a boyfriend if she's single, the next Christmas he'll meet her at the Pentatonics concert. Exciting, but Layla isn't planning on breaking up with her boyfriend anytime soon. However, the next year doesn't bring cheer. Instead, it brings the horror of a cheating partner, because Leah finds her boyfriend in bed with another woman in her house 3 days before Christmas. But hey, there's no need to turn that smile upside down, because this means James really might be Layla's destiny. The only problem is that Leela has tickets to Macklemore instead of Pentatonics this year because of her now ex-boyfriend, and the concert is sold out. So will Leela have herself a Christmas miracle? Let's find out now. Layla's friend Roxy knows about a company that are essentially miracle workers and will do anything to help you get exactly what you need in the nick of time. Leela decides to ask for their services so she can get those tickets and meet James at the concert. The concierge appointed to Layla is Teddy, a man who seems to be the opposite of James. While Layla's desperate for a Christmas miracle, it seems she doesn't trust Teddy's skills because he's dressed in a plaid shirt and khakis while everybody else is in suits. But Teddy's a man of his word, and he's determined to get her these tickets. However, it seems not even the band themselves can get more tickets for their friends and families because this concert is truly booked out. Now, Teddy knows of a guy who has a kiosk where he can get anybody any tickets, but when they get there, nobody's around at the same time. Leah finds a guy who is willing to sell her a ticket and takes Teddy to a shady bar instead. Teddy's certain this is a scam, but anything for the client. Right, Teddy's also simultaneously messaging the band's official Instagram, hoping they'll have a look and get him that ticket. Interestingly, the manager does end up having a look and accidentally getting them invested in this magical love story, as Teddy suspected the ticket happened to be from last year, and Layla tries to pepper spray the man while Teddy's grabbing onto him, but accidentally sprays Teddy, of course. This means they have to try yet another way to get that ticket. Their next stop is at a rich couple's home, and the man asks that Teddy and Layla run an errand for them. Simply get their hands on the mutt. Latest limited edition Chanel bag. This is nearly an impossible task, but the duo don't seem to realize it. On the other hand, the woman is fascinated by Layla's story and decides to gift her a fancy red dress to wear on the occasion, though she doesn't have the ticket yet. So Leela and Teddy make it to the store and have to wait in line to get this bag. Teddy's a really nice guy, so when he sees a saleswoman at the shop getting harassed by a customer, he decides to help out. Layla sees how the woman might be interested in Teddy and asks him to get her number. At the same time, Leah learns that a man and his son are in line to buy the same bag for the kid's mom. She used to be sick and has finally healed. So her husband wants to do everything he can for her to live in the moment, even if that means buying a luxury item to make her happy. So when the saleswoman happens to do a favor for Teddy and bring them the last bag left in the store, Layla can't take it because the man deserves it more than she does back. At home, Layla and Roxy learned that Teddy used to be a chef at a Michelin Saint restaurant before quitting because his mom fell sick and he wanted to be around her. That's how he became a concierge. Teddy then learns that his cousins got 2 tickets to the concert and they just need to go to Brooklyn to pick them up. But it's not that easy. The detail that Teddy's cousin has left out is that they have to participate in a lip sync battle. To win the concert tickets, the duo learns a dance routine and has a great time at Teddy's house. He even teaches her how to make crème brûlée, which is exciting. Layla's parents aren't big on Christmas, but she feels happy at Teddy's, and his mom makes her feel welcome too at the competition. Teddy's super nervous. But on stage, they nail it, but more importantly, at the end, Layla ends up giving Teddy a passionate kiss. They come in second place, but that means they don't get tickets. Also, the band's been following the whole story because Teddy's been sending them all the details this whole time. The band now contemplates if Teddy's got feelings for Leah, and maybe he should be the one she ends up with. On the other hand, they also learn that there's now 1 ticket available because some industry executive backed out just as Leela and Teddy are about to talk about what happened on stage. Teddy's cousin tells them they got the ticket, but Teddy also has to play Santa at the show. Leah then gets ready for the event because everyone still thinks she's going to see James while Teddy goes backstage at the show to play Santa. What he doesn't know is that he has to slide down onto stage from a height, and he's afraid of heights. But now the band wants him to confess his feelings to Leela because they're too invested, so he can't really back out. Plus, he somehow knows she likes grand gestures, and this would be the grandest. On the other hand, Layla meets James out front and tells him in a hurry that she's fallen in love with someone else and that she's sorry, but she's not his. She misses out on the part that he's got a girlfriend now. And he was just waiting for her at the door because she was running late. Everybody deserves to be happy during the festive season. In Meet Me Next Christmas ending, Teddy comes down the chimney and professes his love for Lila on stage. What's funny, though, is that Leela never went in because she wanted to talk to Teddy and decided to try to go inside backstage. Finally, Layla makes her way inside the concert hall just as Teddy decides to give up because he doesn't get a response. She tells him that she felt something when they kissed too, and that maybe destiny was always bringing her to him and not to James. See, on the same day she met James, she also met Teddy in the airport lounge, and he told her to put Sriracha on her quiche, which apparently left an impression. The movie ends with a very Merry Christmas, because the band calls the couple on stage to celebrate love and joy. Sometimes you don't need to wait for a miracle because it's right by your side if you don't believe in Christmas miracles. Netflix's 2024 early Christmas film, Meet Me Next Christmas, might change your mind just a little bit. Meet Me Next Christmas is exactly what it sounds like. A young woman meets a delightful man at the airport because all flights are delayed and they're stuck in the lounge. They end up talking for hours, and before he has to leave, he tells her that he hopes to see her again on Christmas Eve at the Pentatonics concert the next year. If by some miracle she's single, then what do you know? Layla does end up single. But the concert sold out, so the film follows her journey to finding that 1 ticket that'll bring her close to her destiny. I'm not giving away anymore because that'll be the whole movie for the first 15 minutes of the film. I'd say take a shot every time someone says miracle, and you'll be wasted by the time you get into the actual story, which would be quite fun, I guess. Jokes aside, I think. Meet Me Next. Christmas is the perfect start to the holiday season, even if it feels a little bit early, because I know you're ready. In a way, Meet Me Next Christmas feels less formulaic than it should, in the best way. The film isn't doing anything new, but it somehow manages to bring a smile to your face and demands more attention than your typically nonsensical Christmas granola, the film is simple yet tasteful in the most Christmas spirit way. Don't worry, though, there's no lack of Christmas romance here, and by the end of the film, you'll be dying for the two. Leads to get together. Also, there are two potential love interests, and we always love to see a girl having to choose who the true love of he life is. There isn't much to ask for with such a movie, and still, it delivers far better than a lot of the films we've been getting lately. But I guess that's what happens when Netflix produces quantity over quality, just so that we keep coming back to it in the hope of something wonderful. I think what makes Meet Me Next Christmas truly worth your time, though, is how seriously it's performed. I'm guessing it must have been fun to film, especially the one dance sequence somewhere in the third act. But having said that, the actors are delightfully charming and keep you hooked from start to finish, and to me, that's all you really need to make a Christmas movie special. Christina Milian is adorably sincere as Lila, and it really makes a difference to your viewing experience. I mean, I'm definitely not as positive as Leah, but if Christina is, then that's her job half done. But even so, she's like a toasted marshmallow surprise in your hot chocolate. On the other hand, there's Devale Ellis as the concierge Teddy, who is a delight. There's nothing to complain about here, really.
Oh.
But to the question that's looming over your head, yes, there's chemistry. It would be an incomplete Christmas romance without chemistry. My favorite supporting character has to be Geordie, who keeps the Christmas spirit alive. Also, is it just me? And did y'all know that Pentatonics was still relevant? I mean, no shade. It's only been years since I heard about them because they were all the rage back when I was a teenager. Yeah, quite a bit ago. But leaving that aside, it's a shame not all the music in the film is theirs because it's honestly so fun to watch. A cappella, even if in a movie they all show off their acting chops and have some interesting things to say in the film, almost looking like they're an extension of us as an audience. It's not unusual, but it's still fun. The film is perfectly well placed and visually living in the Christmas spirit. There's one scene involving cream brews that comes out of nowhere but still somehow feels relevant because it's straight out of a Christmas fantasy. Overall, the film creates an atmosphere that sets the stage for everything that's going to come at us during the holiday season. It's like the perfect starting point because it's just a bit early and it'll set you up until the big hitters come. Your way, I don't think Meet Me Next Christmas is necessarily trophy, but it's definitely got a lot of your typical Christmas movie vibes. It's definitely not boring, and if for nothing else, just watch it for that. Dance sequence, it's actually pretty fun. Also, I quite appreciate that it's a black film that just plays out like a Christmas movie. What I mean by this is it doesn't feel the need to pigeonhole itself. It can embrace the festive spirit while still being unique. Maybe if it was a white cast, it would have fallen flat with its story, but there's a flair to this film without it attempting to be cultural at the end of the day. It's the perfect time to get your holiday cheer on. So what better than a Netflix film to begin the festivities? You don't really have to pay attention to anything, so you could be hanging up your Christmas lights and playing this in the background, and you get to enjoy some good music and fun dialogue, and that it be that. But if you and your besties are struggling to figure out what new Christmas movie to watch right now, then this one can definitely do the trick for you, too. What can I say? I'm just a romantic looking to believe in holiday season miracles. I give Meet Me Next Christmas 3 out of 5 stars, and I can't wait to see what's next on the Netflix Christmas holiday roster. Extra information. Meet Me Next Christmas starts this Netflix holiday viewing season right. The world is extra dark right now, and for some of us, it's the time of year when we glom hard onto holiday movies to distract us from real life. Throw in an extra helping of romance, and you have the recipe for comfort. It shouldn't be difficult, yet not every holiday movie hits the mark. Thankfully, Meet Me Next Christmas hits the right spot, both romantically and festively, in selling us holiday romance. Goodness, Meet Me Next Christmas wastes no time setting up the conflict a chance. Airport meeting between Lila Christina Milian and the suave James Kofi Sibo is memorable enough that 1 year later James comes to mind after Lila breaks up with her partner. She recalls their conversation and races to snag a highly coveted ticket to the Pentatonics holiday concert, where they were hoping to meet if fate worked out for them. Unfortunately, the tickets are practically sold out. This is where Devale Ellis enters the picture. Earnest and determined to go the extra mile, ticket concierge Teddy will do everything he can to get Lila that ticket. This mission to acquire the sacred Pentatonics ticket leads to questionable decisions and hilarious hijinks for the duo, from a clear, suspicious scalper encounter going haywire to meeting up with an incredible eccentric couple that'll have you raising eyebrows to a slightly cringe drag style dance off the two, do whatever it takes to get a ticket while their adventures are incredibly entertaining. The joy of Meet Me Next Christmas is seeing how Lila and Teddy slowly grow attached, even if they don't see it until the final moment. Everyone around them can see how hard Teddy is gunning for Lila. While Lila doesn't realize what is under her nose, it is a tried-and-true romance cliché that can easily make one's eyes roll. However, Milan's and Ellis's chemistry and natural flow make it impossible to judge too harshly. They make it easy to invest in their characters because of how well they mesh together. The naturalness between Milan and Ellis is a huge factor in why Meet Me Next Christmas sets a pretty high bar for what's coming out. From Netflix, this holiday romance season, no one goes into these kinds of films expecting anything less than goodo. Holiday cheesiness, sometimes this results in stunted performances or really awkward couple matches that make you question what casting saw when pairing actors together. This is not the case here. The ease with which they sell their budding romance and how gung-ho they are to handle the crazed antics thrown at them makes the film enjoyable. Some tonal inconsistencies make their performances stand out against the rest of the cast, which may not necessarily be the greatest thing. Milan's Layla and Ellis's Teddy are more grounded, which, when paired next to a more eccentric character, creates a bit of tonal dissonance, as if there was some indecision on how cheesy to go. It's a minor quibble, particularly since Milan and Ellis are the highlight. And the reality is that their characters are meant to be the most normal in this film. Of course, we can't talk about Meet Me Next Christmas without tackling the inclusion of Pentatonics. The group is great in the film, delivering their respective lines with the energy you'd expect. There are even tongue-in-cheek moments poking fun at their random bursts of song that will generate a couple of laughs. Are they really necessary for the film plot itself? Not. Really, you could swap them in any other musical group and get a similar result story-wise. But the a cappella group is so dang delightful that you can kind of ignore the generic plot point they've been resigned to, while the plot is pretty standard. Meet Me Next Christmas stands out with how kinetic Christina Milian and Devale Ellis are. Part of the joy in holiday rom-coms is being able to believe and invest in the couple on screen, and their chemistry is so palpable. You'll want to scream at them to hurry up and kiss. Already their performance elevates an otherwise formulaic plot, kickstarting the holiday romance season off on a high note. Meet Me Next Christmas is the latest in the ever-expanding collection of Netflix Christmas movies over the last several years. The streamer has gotten deep into the Christmas movie game. They still have some work to do to catch up to Hallmark, at least in terms of quantity. Hallmark is premiering 32 new Christmas-themed movies this year, but the Netflix Christmas movies have a very similar vibe. They're cheesy, corny, fluffy, cute, predictable. They're comfort food movies, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Enter Meet Me Next Christmas. Layla Christina Milian meets the charming and handsome James Kofi CBO during a layover at an airport lounge. They have an instant connection, but there's only one problem Layla has. A boyfriend. As James leaves for his flight, he makes an offer. If she is somehow single, at the same time next year they'll meet at the annual Pentatonics Christmas Eve concert in New York City. Cut to 1 year later, and Leah does find herself single. She frantically tries to locate a ticket to the now sold-out concert, leading her to a high-end personal concierge service, Devale Ellis, who, as fate would have it, she also met at the same airport lounge the same day she met James is assigned to work. With her together, the two race across the city trying to locate the elusive ticket that might lead Lila to the love of her life. Though maybe, just maybe, it's not who she suspects. So many of the movies like Meet Me Next Christmas tend to follow a very similar outline. They have all the same basic plot points. They feel quite similar. The Christmas rom-com is one of the few genres that can get away with that. On the downside, it makes it harder to differentiate one from the next. It may often feel like you're watching the same movie over and over. But on the other hand, that means it doesn't take much for one of these movies to set itself apart, or at least give it a slightly different feeling. And what sets Meet Me Next Christmas apart is simple, it's fun, and the characters are having fun. It hits all the same beats, features all the expected tropes, but the adventure-like setup of Leela and Teddy running from place to place, getting themselves into various precarious situations, makes it so much easier to inject fun into the story without feeling so manufactured. Each new task or attempt at getting the ticket also provides insight into who both Layla and Teddy are as characters. It's nothing groundbreaking by any means, but it's refreshing to see so many similar movies try to just get by on their charm, showcase two attractive leads with no real risk of things not working out for them. In the end, the added fact of taking place around Christmas provides more natural charm and comfort. Meet Me Next. Christmas is a 2024 American Christmas romantic comedy film directed Rusty Cundieff, written by Molly Haldeman, and Camilla Rubis, produced by Mark Roberts, and starring Christina Milian. It was released by Netflix on November 6, 2024. Premise: a woman in New York City at Christmas is desperate to attend a sold-out Christmas Eve concert. Christina Milian, Devale Ellis, Kofi CBO, Tamika Tari, Kin Allen, Mitch, Grassi, Scott Hoy, Kirsten Maldonado, Kevin Alusa, Matt's production. The film is directed by Rusty Cundieff and written by Molly Haldeman and Camilla Rubis. Mark Roberts produced under his company, while Simon Litho and Matt Code executive produced. Christina Milian stars and is also an executive producer on the film. The cast also includes Kofi CBO, Devale Ellis, Kane Allen, and the music group Pentatonix. Principal photography took place in Toronto. The film was released on Netflix on November 6th. 2024 Meet Me Next Christmas movie review. Meet Me Next Christmas is a corny Christmas movie that follows the typical tropes, but the musical elements and central characters make it a fun watch. Nonetheless, getting into the Christmas season, Netflix is gearing up a slate of brand new Christmas rom-coms ready for the holidays. Meet Me Next Christmas has some minor twists on the standard entries that make it stand out. However, it's not an instant classic and will likely be a movie audiences only watch once, when Layla breaks up with her boyfriend just before Christmas. She has to race against the clock to connect with the man of her dreams. With the aid of a concierge, she sets out to get tickets to the fully sold-out Pentatonix Christmas show, but it's in no way a simple task, despite all the hurdles Leah is praying for a Christmas miracle. Meet Me Next Christmas falls into several of the most common and popular tropes associated with Hallmark Christmas movies. Despite the movie coming from Netflix, the plot is thin. The characters are exaggerated stereotypes, and the movie continually bends around the central characters to create a magical love story, but it doesn't take itself too seriously and leans into the goofy nature that makes it feel emblematic of a typical Christmas rom-com. Christina Milian's Layla is a confident go-getter who has the perfect life, a good career, a boyfriend, and a Christmas tradition where she always attends the New York Christmas show by Pentatonix. However, all at once, things start falling apart, and Layla is forced to scramble and find ways to make this Christmas count, despite a recently broken heart. Leah immediately moves on to finding the person she was meant to be with, a chance encounter from a year earlier with the person who could be her soulmate. But in typical Christmas rom-com fashion, her efforts are constantly hindered by unpredictable and wacky events. There's dancing, musical numbers, and twists of fate that everyone except the main characters see coming from miles away. But it's light fun and easy to watch. While it certainly isn't breaking new ground in any capacity, the movie is a feel-good moment that gets us into the holiday spirit. While most holiday films that revolve around getting to a big event don't feature the event in a big way, Meet Me Next Christmas clearly made an effort to include Pentatonix, the a cappella group specializing in Christmas music. The band appear throughout the movie, adding a distinctive additional plot and playing up their celebrity superstar status, which highlights their willingness to be playful and be the butt of the joke. However, their role in the movie is very limited. They could have had more of an impact on the story, played more music, or simply been included in a slightly more meaningful way, but the fact that they were just barely featured and used comedically feels like a wasted opportunity. Had they been given a bigger part, or their role had been reduced. Further, they could have simply played music at the concert in the show. It would have been better as it stands. It feels like they are an overlooked extra character. Despite this, the moments where Pentatonix does appear are funny, and it adds another dimension to the story, albeit a shallow one, but in a movie clearly designed to the holiday market, and simply put out a simple love story. Meet Me Next Christmas meets the brief. Nothing stands out to make it special or notable, but it blends in with the rest of the slate as just another quick and simple Christmas movie. There are a lot of valid complaints that one can throw at Netflix holiday viewing season, right? The world is extra dark right now, and for some of us, it's the time of year when we glom hard onto holiday movies to distract us from real life. Throw in an extra helping of romance, and you have the recipe for comfort. It shouldn't be difficult. Yet not every holiday movie hits the mark. Thankfully, Meet Me Next Christmas hits the right spot, both romantically and festively, in selling us holiday romance. Goodness, Meet Me Next Christmas wastes no time setting up the conflict. A chance airport meeting between Layla Christina Milian and the suave James Kofi Saibo is memorable enough that 1 year later, James comes to mind after Leah breaks up with her partner. She recalls their conversation and races to snag a highly coveted ticket to the Pentatonix holiday concert where they were hoping to meet if fate worked out for them. Unfortunately, the tickets are practically sold out. This is where Teddy Devale Ellis enters the picture, earnest and determined to go the extra mile. Ticket concierge Teddy will do everything he can to get Lila that ticket. This mission to acquire the sacred Pentatonix ticket leads to questionable Asian and hilarious hijinks for the duo, from a clear, suspicious scalper encounter going haywire to meeting up with an incredibly eccentric couple that'll have you raising eyebrows to a slightly cringe drag style. Dance off the two, do whatever it takes to get a ticket while they adventures are incredibly entertaining. The joy of Meet Me Next Christmas is seeing how Lila and Teddy slowly grow attached, even if they don't see it until the final moment. Everyone around them can see how hard Teddy is gunning for Lila, while Lila doesn't realize what is under her nose. It is a tried and true romance cliche that can easily make one's eyes roll. However, Milan's and Ellis's chemistry and natural flow make it impossible to judge too harshly. They make it easy to invest in their characters because of how well they mesh. Together, the naturalness between Milan and Ellis is a huge factor in why Meet Me Next Christmas sets a pretty high bar for what's coming out from Netflix this holiday romance season. No one goes into these kinds of films expecting anything less than good holiday cheesiness. Sometimes this results in stunted performances or really awkward couple matches that make you question what casting saw when pairing actors together. This is not the case here. The ease with which they sell their budding romance and how gung-ho they are to handle the crazed antics thrown at them makes the film enjoyable. Some tonal inconsistencies make their performances stand out against the rest of the cast, which may not necessarily be the greatest thing. Milan's Lila and Ellis's Teddy are more grounded, which, when paired next to a more eccentric character, creates a bit of tonal dissonance, as if there was some indecision on how cheesy to go. It's a minor quibble, particularly since Milan and Ellis are the highlight, and the reality is that their characters are meant to be the most normal in this film. Of course, we can't talk about Meet Me Next Christmas without tackling the inclusion of Pentatonix. The group is great in the film, delivering their respective lines with the energy you'd expect. There are even tongue-in-cheek moments poking fun at their random bursts of song that will generate a couple of laughs. Are they really necessary for the film plot itself? Not really. You could swap them in any other musical group and get a similar result story-wise, but the a cappella group is so dang delightful that you can kind of ignore the generic plot point they've been resigned to while the plot is pretty standard Meet Me Next Christmas stands out with how kinetic Christina Milian and Devale Ellis are part of the joy in holiday rom-coms, is being able to believe and invest in the couple on screen, and their chemistry is so palpable, you'll want to scream at them to hurry up and kiss. Already their performance elevates an otherwise formulaic plot, kickstarting the holiday romance season off on a high note. Meet Me Next Christmas is the latest in the ever-expanding collection of Netflix Christmas movies over the last years. The streamer has gotten deep into the Christmas movie game. They still have some work to do to catch up to Hallmark, at least in terms of quantity. Hallmark is premiering 32 new Christmas-themed movies this year, but the Netflix Christmas movies have a very similar vibe. They're cheesy, corny, fluffy, cute, predictable. They're comfort food movies, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Enter Meet Me Next Christmas. Layla Christina Milian meets the charming and handsome James Kofi CBO during a layover at an airport lounge. They have an instant connection, but there's only one problem. Layla has a boyfriend. As James leaves for his flight, he makes an offer if she is somehow single. At the same time, next year they'll meet at the annual Pentatonix Christmas Eve concert in New York City, cut to 1 year later. And Layla does find herself single. She frantically tries to locate a ticket to the now sold-out concert. Leading her, a high-end personal concierge service, Teddy Devale Ellis, who, as fate would have it, she also met at the same airport lounge. The same day she met James, is assigned to work with her together. The two race across the city trying to locate the elusive ticket that might lead Layla to the love of her life, though. Maybe, just maybe, it's not who she suspects. So many of the movies like Meet Me Next Christmas tend to follow a very similar outline. They have all the same basic plot points. They feel quite similar. The Christmas rom-com is one of the few genres that can get away with that. On the downside, it makes it harder to differentiate one from the next. It may often feel like you're watching the same movie over and over, but on the other hand, that means it doesn't take much for one of these movies to set itself apart, or at least give it a slightly different feeling, and what sets Meet Me Next Christmas apart is simple. It's fun, and the characters are having fun. It hits all the same beats. Features all the expected tropes, but the adventure-like setup of Layla and Teddy running from place to place, getting themselves into various precarious situations, makes it so much easier to inject fun into the story without feeling so manufactured. Each new task or attempt at getting the ticket also provides insight into who both Layla and Teddy are as characters. It's nothing groundbreaking by any means, but it's refreshing to see so many similar movies try to just get by on their charm, showcase two attractive leads with no real risk of things not working out for them in the end. The added fact of taking place around Christmas provides more natural charm and comfort. This film, directed by Rusty Cundieff, written by Camilla, Rubis, Molly Haldeman, produced by Mark Roberts, starring Christina Milian, Devale Ellis, Kofi CBO, Timika Tari, Mitch, Grassi, Scott, Kirsten Maldonado, Kevin Olusa, Mats Kayan, Allen Cinematography, Bendy Stahor, edited by Michael. Jab music by D. Taylor, production company Roberts Media, distributed by Netflix, release date November 6, 2024, running time 105 minutes, country United States, language English. So guys, this is the review of Meet Me Next Christmas movie and some information about it. How do you like our today's video? Please let us know by commenting. And if you like this video, please like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.